Hey there everyone, it's Val, and welcome to today's end of the day tour for Tolkiencraft II, The Labors of Valentine. Well, I've been working and slaving in the kitchen all day today, let me tell you. And I am starving and I am exhausted. I think I better have something to eat. Alright, that's enough. You don't need to see me eating and leaving crumbs everywhere. Alright, so, well, I got into Railcraft today for the first time, and you might be wondering, what in the heck? Val, why do you need Railcraft in the kitchen? Well, let me show you. We have a fantastic new system for dumbwaiters. That's right. The guys can go up and down and just push a button to send this down. And one of the things that I meant to do and I didn't get around to was deciding where we were going to put a ladder. And you know what? I think we might put it right here. Okay, so... Whoop! You're not supposed to see that yet. Hang on here. That's not what I want. Let's see, let's see, carpenter's ladders. Carpenter's ladders, and we need some murk oak wood. Murk. Where's... We've got murk oak wood, but no... Okay. That's fine. I'll make some more. Okay. So let's go ahead and do the ladders. I was debating between a stairwell and the ladders, and I ended up not leaving room for a stairwell because there was no... I just had too many things I wanted to have in here. So instead, they're going to have to use this ladder, which is fine because they have the dumbwaiter. And I might have to realign these boxes in any case. Let's go over to this dumbwaiter. This is the one that I used to send down. Let's get this out of there. This guy here. So, we can push a button, and it goes right back up again. So, as you can see, here is the elevator track for the Railcraft. And I have connected a... actually, that's not even show you the right name for it. So let me just show you the tracks. Okay, so we have control tracks. Oops. And the recipe for that is making standard rails and using wooden rail beds. And the wooden, or you can use wooden ties. Now the wooden ties, you have to use creosote to make. I was lucky I had some creosote that I'd gathered when I was adventuring. But you might have to make it yourself, and if you do, there is a particular multi-block structure you can make that turns coal into coke. And let's see if I can remember. My brain is not providing the name of the thing that makes the coke, but there we go. It's called a coke oven. It's a coke oven. Well, there you go. But that produces creosote as a byproduct. But like I said, I didn't have to do that. I was fortunate in that I had everything that I needed. Now, the thing that is the tough part is, that took me a while to figure out, is that in order to make these rails, you have to actually use a rolling machine. And that was that machine upstairs that I showed you. And once you make those, then you can go ahead and make the various rails that you need. And so the two that I used for this was the booster track, and that's the recipe for that. And, where is it here? The control track. And the recipe is here. It doesn't look like it is, but for some reason you have to look for it every single time. And there it is right there, control track. So it's not that hard to make, as long as you have the creosote to start with. So the creosote, really, oddly enough, is the hardest part to get, if you just don't happen to have it. Now, you might notice that this is on, and there is a reason for that. And that's also the reason that I left the other side the other dumbwaiter set up on the other side here also works exactly the same way. This one's got an opening where I can show you we have a lever down here to leave this one constantly on, because it just made sense in the way that it works to leave it on rather than having it toggle on and off. Because otherwise, when the rail or the cart came down, it would always stall right here. And so, but by leaving that on all the time, it causes it to go down and park nicely. So I won't fill that in because I will do that off camera. Right, so what was the secret thing I wanted? Said you couldn't see yet. Well, now you can see it. So basically, we've just, for the button, we've got, is it the button there? Right, no, that's not the button. That is the wiring that when you press the button, actually causes the Railcraft vertical rails to work. And those are, do they have them in here? Yes, they are. Elevator track. And that's what started me down this rabbit hole of using the Railcraft, because I said, is there any other kind of elevator in here that I can use to make a dumbwaiter? And I discovered there was an elevator track. Right, so I'm just going to dig this out a little bit so that I can step back, sort of, and show you what this is. Now this is increasing the delay of the button. The button only lasts for about 1 or 2, like 1 second. I don't know how many ticks that is off the top of my head. But you need some way of lengthening it, otherwise you have to use a lever. And I didn't want to use a lever, I wanted a button. I want people to put their stuff in the cart, push the button, and have it go upstairs. So, that led me to research ProjectRed Integration's logic gates, and I did find one. There's actually 2 different ways you can do it, but I'm only going to talk about this way because this is the one that I settled on. This is the state cell, and it has a timer as part of it, and I've got it set to 3 seconds. And I don't know what the lock section is used for because I didn't play with that, but I will tell you what I do know about a state cell. Okay, so you have your signal coming in, and actually let me just grab a lever if I have any levers on me. They're probably all in here, aren't they? Okay, there we go. Because I want to show you how this works today. Just by tossing a lever beside it, I'll be able to show you. Well, maybe not if I put it there. Let's put it here. Okay. You'll notice that there's 3, like ignoring the lock one. Like I said, I didn't investigate that, so I'm not sure how that works. But if you see the in here and the out, and then there's another out down there. Well, if you click this, you can see that these 2 light up directly. Well, if you have a wire coming out of the one below, what it actually does is once you turn this, once you turn this off, then the wire would light up. And in fact, I think we can go ahead and do that. Oops, I need a wire. Because I think a visual representation might make a little more sense to show you rather than just talking about it. Okay, so let's just put this down there, like that. So, turn on the switch. You can see the signal is going there directly, and it's going to remain going for the duration of the timer. But you'll also notice this one did not light up. You turn this off, wait for the timer to expire. Ding! And did you see that? There was a pulse. So that out actually emits a quick pulse, probably a 1-tick pulse, after the timer expires. And so that's pretty cool. So you could do some pretty complex things with this, and probably even more complex than I can think of right now, because I'm sure that lock one has a use. Perhaps it's used to turn off the timer. I don't know. But I encourage you to look it up if you're curious. But that does explain why there is different... These are different shapes. They're indicating that they work differently. So that's that. So let's take that away. And let's put this back together, and I'm out of bricks, so obviously I put... Oh, really am out of bricks. Okay, thank you. You can have that back. You can have that too. Or, and these, actually, if you'd like them as well. Alright, so that is the state cell. And that, the reason that we needed that was... and this, like I said, this is lighting up the rail. Let me just go inside and show you. That's what causes these to light up, and we needed it to go all the way up. Because if these are off, then it does allow the cart to fall from the top, so you don't have to activate them when you have a cart coming down. But when you have a cart coming up, if there is no power here, then they won't go up. And conversely, if you have a cart at the top and these are activated, the cart won't go down. So you have to be able to turn them on and off. So right, now the reason we had to have the time delay was because just the regular button all by itself does not last long enough, and the cart would have just started up the track here, and then the power would go out and it would fall back down. So I had to find a way to extend the pulse, and I did it with the state cell. Right. So hopefully I have explained all the parts of how this is working. The upstairs is much simpler because all you have to do is basically activate, and the secret door is right here. Let's see if we can get into it. There we go. Sorry, so you just have to activate the two starting rails, and this long wire is just so that I could have the button over on this side instead of where you would have to put it if you wanted it much closer. Which, whoops, come on, out. Okay, so let's just close the secret door. Right, so I wanted the button here so it would match over there. So when you push the button, and away we go, you can see that these two light up. Now you might notice that this, the control track, changes direction. So that it's always got some power, and what that button is telling you is that when it reaches the top there, it's going to keep it up at the top so it's not going to fall. But it's pushing it that direction. And then when you press the button here, it just reverses it. And that's what gives it the push down the slope in the first place. Took me a while to find that one, because all the names people were suggesting in chat weren't what it was called, but it is. It's called a control track, so I like it. And that's what I spent, I think about three and a half hours total today. Half of my stream time I spent working on dumbwaiters. But I think they worked out pretty awesome, so I'm happy with that. This is a keep elves out block. I couldn't do that on the base because if you do that down there, then the minecart kept getting stuck. So instead, and I hope this works, I haven't seen the one try to go in here yet, so I don't know if it will. Instead, I put in a glass cover so that the minecart didn't get stuck on it anymore. But I'm still not quite sure yet if it's going to keep the elves out or not. I guess we'll find out. Right, now, in all my running back and forth, you might have noticed that the kitchen is done. It's ready for use. It's got everything. It's got brooms, it's got mops, it's got extra ones. It's also got these elevator things, which are going to come out. That's why those ones are up there. It's just so that it's still functional. We will be taking those out in the final version of the base, but for now, I still need them. So it's possible that I might put a ladder over here too. I'll have to decide. If I did, I might put it right there. Or I might stick it in the corner again as well. I'm not sure. But this one also has two secret doors. One on the top level and one... Aha! See? See? That's why that's there. They kept going in there. Jerks. And then they were going to fall down and get stuck. So I was like, no, you guys aren't using the elevator. It's not for you. And the kitchen, or the dining hall is also done. I decided against putting any carpets in here. It's just going to be too high traffic, and those carpets are going to get worn out and dirty in no time flat. So, what are you doing on the table? So, this is, I think, going to be the final version of this dining hall. I will think about the carpets, but I'm pretty sure what I just said is going to be my final decision. But I always reserve the right to change my mind. So over here we have a nice area for the drinks, and there's also one over on the other side matching it. And here we still have to put out some more food. I still have to do some more baking to get a little bit more types of food out. So that's why there's still some areas, not so much here, but over on these side tables where some food can go. But I haven't done that yet. And I do believe last stream I showed you these. These are the same as before. The only thing that's changed is this used to have a little corner here that I filled in because I needed that area for dumbwaiter wiring. And I did that the same on both sides, so that's the only change there. But otherwise, let's just pop up here so we can get an overhead view of the activity in the kitchen. So we still have to hire some kitchen workers, but, you know, that's their official job. But for now, it looks like we have a volunteer, so hey, that works for me. So maybe this guy is working out here as a server, or maybe he's actually here to eat. I'm not sure. I hope he doesn't make a mess either way. So you guys, I hope you enjoyed this end of the day tour. And I hope to see you in the stream sometime. You all take care now. Bye.